we're back on Pisces. We're on Pisces for the dream versus nightmare interpretation. Alright, let's get the image for the dream. Alright. Okay. Yeah. That tracks on the energy that I was picking up. So we have the Watchers, which is transpersonal, and it speaks of, like, now you're being asked to, like, take a period of, like, you're being asked to take a step back. So the dream could have, like, had you in, like, a third person role, or, like, not really participating with what was going on in the dream, or just, like, sitting further back. But it looks like it's basically you're being called to, like, take a break. And this card, there is one particular saying that always, like, ever since the first time I read it, it's stuck in my brain. And it pops up whenever I'm, like, overdoing it. And the saying is, you know, if people may think that you are doing nothing, let them. Because there's many different ways to work. And if anybody asks you what it is that you're doing when they see you being lazy, basically to tell them that you're helping the sun to set in the sky. But basically this is a card of rest. And one of the phrases that's also being highlighted to me is, like, it mentions something about, like, keeping your opinions to yourself right now. Because what you need to do is observe. So there may be some things around you that are, like, kind of feeling too much. And so what you are being asked to do is to take a step back from it and to cease participating. And one of the, like, the card that was at the bottom that, like, flashed out to me when I was putting the deck down, it's mindful and it's groupthink. Basically, this card, for, like, when I see it, there's too much going on. There's too much chatter. You're either absorbing too much information or too much energy from the people around you. And it's kind of throwing you off balance. And so you're being called to take a period of rest, or to take a step back and stop participating in whatever all this chatter is, to, like, observe. Because there may be some parts of the chatter that you need to remove, or, like, start protecting yourself against. Because this is a matter of, like, your own happiness, like, where you want to go. So be mindful of those people who try to put bugs in your ear or sow seeds of doubt whenever you want to do something that you feel within yourself is something that you really, really want. Because you don't need that negativity. And it's really giving, like, there's a lot of chatter, and you're absorbing some of these people's personalities and, like, thought forms on, oh, well, if I do this, then they're gonna think this. And I've had situations like that, especially with, like, family, where it's just like, well, I can't go in this direction because if I go in that direction, they're gonna be like, oh my god, this, that, and another. Like, it's always something fucking negative. And now you just really need to take your time, because this card here, like, with the swords represent, you know, information and, like, communication and all of that stuff. And with this, it's like these swords are kind of being implanted into your subconscious, and it's time for you to, like, take control of them, of these narratives, this information, this energy that has been projected on you. And it's time for you to take control and start, you know, either getting rid of them or using them to your advantage. Because you're the only one in control of your life. This is your life. You can't let other people tell you what you need to do. And in your endeavors, you will be protected. Now, you don't necessarily have to, like, build a wall to keep everybody out, but you do need to use your discernment on who you need to keep out of your inner circle. but right now you're the only one that needs to be in it because you need to take some time to yourself. Now this doesn't mean like don't interact with people, but like don't take on their energy. So even if you're out with people, create a bubble of energy around you so you're not absorbing their projections and their thoughts. Anyways, I hope that helped. Also, social media detox might help. So on to the nightmare for Pisces. Let's get the image of the nightmare. Okay. Oh, addicted. 11. Now, when I was studying like zodiac signs and their personality traits, one of the things that came up for like Pisces is that like they get easily like, oh, I don't want to say that. One of the things that comes up is that potentially one of the negative traits of Pisces is that they get addicted to things. And in this picture, they have like swords in their back and a glass, like either swords or needles. It's hard to tell, but they have a glass in their hands. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you're like addicted to a substance. This could be like you just being addicted to your phone. Or like it's highlighting something that is negatively affecting what you have going on. Or maybe even just addicted to absorbing information or energy from other people. Like gossip. Yeah. Because this kind of goes along with the dream message, it seems like. And we have like the Seven of Wands in reverse. Now this could represent, like for me, when I see the fingers crossed behind its back, that represents a promise that was broken. Like, cause back in like the 90s, when I grew up in the 90s, back when I used to watch cartoons, they used to like make promises and cross their fingers behind their back. So be mindful of people who do not keep their promises. You can give them as many chances as you want, because you have free will, but like if they've proven to you over and over again that they cannot keep their promises and they cannot keep their word, then there's no point, because obviously their words and their actions are not adding up if they can't keep a promise that they make. And giving them too many chances is only hurting yourself. And what you want is to be emotionally fulfilled. If whatever you are interacting with or whoever you're interacting with is not fulfilling you emotionally, then you don't necessarily have to be around them. It's really up to you. Like, you have the control, you know what your situation is, and you may be addicted to their company, but just something about it just feels off. Like, and you might not be able to place it. And this nightmare was to try to potentially bring you clarity that, hey, maybe you're just hyper-focused on this person, you don't really like them. Maybe you're like, you have some kind of like addiction to this person because they, for a short amount of time, show you all of the love and stuff temporarily, but really they're just stringing you along. So and the action card is like the Four of Swords. Now this is like meditation. So you might need to meditate on the situation and like get direct contact from your guides to tell you, you know, what the situation really is. Because it's looking like you're going to need to drop some of these swords. And when you drop a few of these swords, not all of them necessarily, but drop 3 and then you're left with 4 and then you have your peace. You'll be left with your peace. And you'll be left with the valuable information that you need to continue forward. So definitely like meditate, consult with your guides and your own team. Hope that helped.